and I have been married for 9 years, and it's been a constant uphill battle.
Steve is a lying, manipulative, cheating, selfish, narcissistic person who does not take responsibility for his own actions.
At the end of the day, I just want to figure out how to be the best co-parents we can be for our kids.
I want the judge to tell Steve what it is to be a man and a father and take care of his kids.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Charmaine Parks and Steve McCrary. The two of you have been together 17 years, married for 9 years. You have 5 children together, and you've been separated for the last 9 months. You want to end this thing finally today, and Ms. Parks, you want Mr. McCrary to participate economically in his children's lives. So we're going to discuss that momentarily, but before we do, Ms. Parks, why don't you tell me what went wrong? Why are we here after so many years together?
Well, first of all, Steven has always cheated on me throughout our whole relationship from the time I had my firstborn child until 2014. So he's cheated on me pretty much our whole entire relationship.
All 17 years he's been cheating. I'm going to give you an opportunity.
Yes, he's
all
cheated.
17 years.
Just about, Your Honor. He says he goes in these periods where he doesn't cheat, but in those periods where he doesn't cheat, he has these little female friends where he befriends them, talks to them, and he just always has a female around and keeps females very close. And I don't. That's not okay with me.
Now, Mr. McCrary, would you like to respond to those accusations?
Yes, it hasn't been a constant 17-year thing. Yes, earlier in our relationship, especially before we was married, I was a bit immature, and it took me way longer to grow up than it did for her.
Okay.
I get that. But my thing was, once I got it together, I would go 2-3 years being faithful to her, but our relationship is terrible. How can
My man went a whole 2-3 years in his relationship without cheating.
What's long?
Your Honor, and that's what he...
Let me ask you something. When you asked a woman to marry you, did you understand the nature of the commitment? It wasn't like, I'll stay with you most of the time until I get a little side piece. Did you understand that wasn't part of it?
This the thing. Didn't think about it much at first.
You didn't think it through?
Nope. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think it through at first. Those feelings came from seeing the hurt on her face. I didn't want to keep doing that, so I tried to straighten up. When I thought I was doing good.
Your Honor, every time he tried, he failed because he used me, like you said. He told me in 2014 when I filed for divorce because he cheated on me with a coworker. He told me, he said, I never loved you. I only married you because we had kids. So throughout the relationship, I felt that way, and I told him, I said, you don't love me. Yes, I do. I have cards of him telling me countless times that he didn't love me, and now I realize that he never loved me. He used me.
Let me see those cards. You sent her cards that said you didn't love her?
No, he gave me cards to tell me.
Did.
Yeah, after each mistake and mistake.
I just can't deal with her attitude towards me.
What is her attitude?
Negative. Everything is negative.
Wouldn't your attitude be negative if somebody cheated on you and left you and you was pregnant countless times?
My attitude would not be negative. I would be very, very happy because he would be very, very far away from me.
And that's so, where I'm at now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a whole different way of dealing with that kind of thing. What do you say she's negative about?
When I was healthy and I didn't have a tumor in my brain and I didn't have cancer, it was an argument every day about whatever the kids did wrong is my fault. House not totally clean. It could be clean 70%, but that room with a couple of clothes on the floor and those couple of dishes that's not washed, she gonna come at me like it's World War II. You know what I'm saying?
Were you working before you got sick?
Yes, off and on.
Off and on?
Ms. Parks, he's never really had a stable job. He's never been a provider. I've carried us most of the time we've been married, and I'm okay with that. You know, I went to school.
Stop.
I went to school throughout that time. I got my master's degree, so I've always had a job. I've always worked. If I come home and you've been sitting at home for 10 hours playing video games, I'm gonna expect you to come home, have the house clean, stuff taken care of. Yeah, I want my house clean. I didn't grow up with a nasty house.
Now, Ms. Parks, why don't you tell me about the other aspects? Because the money isn't right. The reason he married you isn't right. Is the sex life right? Is the contributions right? Tell me about it.
I I'm actually happy single now
Me too.
because I don't have to deal with him.
Me too.
And the sex, I had to force myself to have sex with him because, I mean, after him, he has community penis because everybody can have that, just like now.
Yeah. Now, Mr. McCrary, you did admit that at best you could give her 2-3 years run in infidelity. So you were kind of a community dude. You were a traveler.
Yeah.
Weren't you? You were a man of the community, so that the community, you serviced the community.
It wasn't like that. It was like, in my mind, this is how it went. Okay. I called myself trying to fix something that I broke. Her. And 2-3 years, not that long to y'all. It felt like a eternity to me. And it always got to a point where, oh my God, I want to give up, but I don't want to leave the kids. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know. Wrong, bad decision. I understand that. But at the same time, what am I supposed to do when I can't deal with this person?
I dealt with him. I dealt with him.
I don't want to leave
I dealt
my
with his
kids.
cheating, him not having no money,
dealing with
him
it
not.
is
I dealt
cussing
with
and
all of
fussing
that,
at
but I
me
stayed
about nothing
faithful.
all the
I
time.
stayed faithful to my. I'm still faithful to my
Dealing-
vows. I haven't
dealing
had
with
sex
it.
with nobody.
Let me give you a little explanation about that. You believe that last child the two of you had is not yours. Do you really think she was unfaithful during the course of your marriage?
Last 2-3 years of our relationship, we barely touched each other. If she's not mine, it would bring up questions about the other two. And I don't want that.
Let's
I
do a
love my
fraternity
kids.
for all of them.
Thanks for sharing your DIY haircuts, your savage moves, and your adorable pets. Now it's our turn to share with the Geico Give Back, a 15% credit on car and motorcycle policies lasting your full policy term. So, thanks again.
We do it every night.
Every night. I live alone, but I still do it every night.
Right after dinner.
Definitely after meatloaf. Like clockwork.
Do it! Run your dishwasher every night with Cascade Platinum. A load with as few as 8 dishes is all it takes to save water. An Energy Star certified dishwasher uses less than 4 gallons per cycle, while hand washing uses that every 2 minutes. So do it. Run your dishwasher every night with Cascade Platinum, the surprising way to save water.
Mr. McCrary, let me explain a little something to you about cause and effect. If you tell a woman she has no value to you because you're sleeping with other women, when you tell her, I don't care, love, and support you by not being economically there for her, if you tell her you're really not concerned about her emotional needs and support because everything isn't taken care of at home when she's out at work all day and you're home doing the video games all day, you make a woman angry. She's upset. She's frightened. She's scared. She feels worthless. She feels like she's the most convenient piece of furniture you got. She delivers and delivers and delivers, and return gets very little. You bought that attitude. You cranked it up, put it on there, and now she's letting it run. Having said that, I will say this to you, Mr. McCrary. I understand that you believe that last child the two of you had is not yours. Why do you believe that?
Well, I don't actually believe it's not mine. I want to make sure. I was gone from the house, Your Honor,
You Honor.
for
Hang on,
2 weeks.
You were gone
and
2
she
weeks.
was bragging about how good this guy is, how much better of a guy that he is than I am. And I don't care one way or the other. I just want to know.
You never did.
Honestly, I want the kid to be mine because she looks so much like my oldest son and my youngest daughter that if she's not mine, it would bring up questions about the other two. And I don't want that.
Let's
I
do
love my
fraternity
kids.
for all
Do
of
you,
them.
other than the time when you had already left and she was talking about a guy for 2 weeks that he was much better than you, do you really think she was unfaithful during the course of your marriage?
Well, only reason I would come up with that conclusion because last 2-3 years of our relationship, we barely touched each other. We didn't like being around each other. All we did was argue every
Yeah,
other
so
day.
how could that happen if you
That-
guys weren't?
That's what, well, we was having sex,
But
it
not
wasn't
often.
at all.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
like it.
Ms. Parks, your response.
Your Honor, when he was in the hospital after he had his surgery from his tumor, he went back to his mistress. Now, mind you, I'm helping him, nursing him back to health, and he went back to his mistress. So that made me really not want to have sex with him because I felt like, again, for what? As far as the man, it was never a man, and I put that on all of my children. I told him that because I felt rejected. I had a friend call him and ask him, did he want to work on our marriage while we were separated? And he said no. So I'm like, forget it. I'm going to tell him I got a man so he won't think that I'm out here desperate. That's the only reason why I said that. And I found out that he had some fat girl that he dated. So that's the only reason why I decided to say that.
Mr. McCrary, after she nursed you back to health from
did.
having a tumor, did you return to your mistress?
She didn't nurse me back to health. Your
What
Honor.
did she do? Did she participate in your
Your Honor,
recovery?
She called herself helping. She was at every doctor's appointment.
She was at every doctor's
At the
appointment.
beginning and all that type of stuff. But then when the doc said that I didn't need no extra stress, I only got it from her. When the doc said, she the video game plan and stuff, that only happened all day is when I couldn't move. I had a seizure, my back messed up still, my shoulders messed up, and my neck. I don't complain. I didn't complain about. All I wanted to do was sit down.
Mr.
and
McCrary,
not be-
Ms. Parks, what did you do for him?
When he was having back pains, I would get, and I'm pissed not because I took care of him. His back would be hurting, and I took care of him. I rubbed his back when he was nauseous. I called 5, 10 different hospitals to make sure he had his medicine when doctors' offices were closed. I made every doctor's appointment. I even made a psychological appointment because I knew that the cancer he was going through was affecting his emotions. I did everything that a wife could possibly do, and I applaud myself because I did what I was supposed to do as a wife, and I took care of him.
All for show.
All for show?
Yes, because the one thing that I needed was her not to be stressing me out. She couldn't handle that. That's all. I didn't need.
So
her.
I'm
didn't need her
supposed
to
to-
call my
I'm
doctor.
supposed to work?
That's for show. That's for all y'all to see. But the stuff at
God.
home is what
Who sees her calling the doctor other than the doctor?
The people
is what-
around us, our family, the people that's here right now that she's talking about.
Let me tell you
that's all
something,
to
Mr.
defend
McCrary,
herself.
that you don't understand. When a woman loves a man, she takes care of herself. I take care of my husband. He don't even know how much I do for him. It is difficult to take care of you people. You say all I needed was all I did. We take care of so much that you don't even see. You don't even appreciate it because I whipped it past him so fast and got him together. Yeah. You're sick, brother. Let's go to the doctor. She did that for you. She did that for you. And you didn't even deserve it. And now you're going to tell her she did it for show. You need to be embarrassed.
I'm not.
The reason why I don't want the kids in the house with him because he burnt our whole entire house down.
He burnt the entire house down?
He burnt the house down. He came home drunk and high, put something on the stove, and burnt the entire house down.
Mr. McCrary, I want to ask you about how things are now. You two are separated. Do you see the kids? Does she let you see the kids? Is the situation still rumpy-bumpy? Or do you have some kind of truce going that allows the two of you to parent?
Well, we parent very separately. I don't ever talk to her. We got to go through third parties. At first, before the courts got in, I only seen the kids every other week for less than a day. Mm-hmm. Now, I see them every other weekend.
How is it
the
less
whole
than a day? It's no
weekend.
such thing.
I see them the whole weekend. And this year I get most of the holidays, and she gets their birthday. Mm-hmm. And next year it'll switch up.
It switches around. So
yeah, the only thing I want is for the third party to be taken out, so me and her can communicate and be
Ms. Parks,
civil.
why don't you tell me your vision of the current circumstance?
It's safe. He smokes marijuana.
Not around the kids
And
at all.
he smokes all the time. And the reason why I don't want the kids in the house with him because he burnt our whole entire house down
She set our
because
first
he
apartment on fire.
was high and it was his birthday.
October.
So,
Stop interrupting.
so when it comes to the kids, my
He
kids,
burnt the entire house down?
he burnt the house down the night of his birthday because he was with his relative and he was getting high. He came home drunk and high, put something on the stove and burnt the entire house down. So I don't trust him along with my kids. Not only that, he has brain cancer. So that tumor can do anything while he's driving. that makes me scared if he has a seizure. What if the tumor is growing and he's not, So it makes me scared.
Okay, I
You know?
understand the situation. We can talk about that. We can resolve a little bit of that because it doesn't have to be that way. But let me get to this. You want to make sure that last child is yours, correct? Now I believe it is. You know why? Because I don't think she cheated on you.
And I don't. And why would I want out of all the men?
Let's say a picture. See the picture of the baby.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, cutie pie.
Out of all the men in Michigan, I'm gonna choose the brokest one to
my
have a
baby.
kid
Well,
with.
if it is my baby, I'm gonna take care of it. Shoot.
And these results are exactly what we thought they would be. Why don't you show them to Mr. McCrary? 99.9999999%. That is your baby. And I want to do one more thing. Joe, could you get what I need?
Write me a check from him. He can start sending me some money.
We're going to talk about that.
Little mama.
Now, I'm a judge, so I got first rights. I get them first.
She let everybody hold her like that.
God. You are wonderful. I never had a little girl. All I had was boys. They're loud and they break things. I couldn't put a headband on anybody. Oh, darling, let's go see your daddy. Let's go see Daddy. And don't drop the baby now.
I got all the granddaughters, so I know.
Right, you know what you're doing.
Man, she look like Steve.
I mean, that's all of life right there, isn't it? I mean, that is the glory of it, the soul of it, the spirit of it, the joy of it, the purpose of it. And everything I want you to do from today forward, I want you to feel like that is the center of your life. You with me? Now we're going to talk about the money and the other issues. You're lucky, because I am not capable of yelling at a man with a baby in his arms. So I'm going to be all cool, calm, and collected, but I am going to make myself very, very clear. Mrs. Parks, you want money from this man, and you deserve money from this man. The complication that we have at this juncture is that this man is currently on disability. The SSI rules are very, very clear. Disability money is solely for that individual to survive on, and it is enough to even change a current order of support and modify it. So, you ain't tired of her, are you?
He works under the table as well.
But let me tell you
Please.
something, Mr. McCrary. You have hurt this woman to her core. And she has a difficult time dealing with you. In order to be a good co-parent, you have to help her heal from the hurt that you caused her. You gotta be kind. You have to listen to her. She don't want to hear all about your problem. You got to show up as often as you can, as much as you can, with whatever you can, every time that you can.
I will.
You have to care for, not I will, and you have to be kind and good to her. Because if she's distraught, if she's distressed, if she's unhappy, if she's weak, if she's wavering, if she's wondering, she's the foundation upon which your children lay. They're not stable if she's not stable. You destabilize her soul, her spirit, her energy, her emotions. You're putting a crack in her foundation, and you don't have that right. Be a better man, Mr. McCrary. Be a better man. Miss Parks, if he does treat you better, don't mistake that for love. Don't you ever touch that man again. No more, never, ever, ever, okay? He gonna be nicer to you, because I'm gonna make him, but
Can you make her be nicer? Just be cordial.
you see,
Communicate.
you hurt her.
Oh, not nicer.
You gotta start. You gotta
Communicate.
start the ball rolling. And if he starts the ball rolling,
Tell her to take me
Try
off the
to
block
go
list,
along.
and I will.
but you have to be patient with her.
Okay.
Because she's got a lot of hurt to get over, and it don't happen with one, how you doing? You with me?
Yes, ma'am.
There will be no recovery in this matter. It is adjourned.